News at noon begins with breaking news.
Good Wednesday afternoon to you. Thanks for being with us. I'm Mike McDaniel. We do begin with breaking news out of the city of New Orleans from City Hall specifically. Mayor LaToya Cantrell's top administrator is leaving office 5 months before the mayor's term is set to end. Gilbert Montaño is resigning after 7.5 years as Mayor Cantrell's chief administrative officer. WWL chief investigative reporter David Hammer got a sit-down exclusive interview with Montaño ahead of today's announcement. Joining us in the details with really the big question, what does this mean for running the city?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mike. Montaño got emotional at times during our sit-down interview yesterday, talking about how hard the job of CAO has been. He had to manage city government through 10 named storms, a deadly building collapse, a pandemic, a terror attack, and a freak snowstorm, just to name a few. But he also earned the respect along the way of the mayor and her political opponents. New Orleans City Council Budget Chairman Joe Giarrusso often criticizes how Mayor LaToya Cantrell spends the public's money. But he has high praise for Cantrell's top deputy, Chief Administrative Officer Gilbert Montaño.
Look, I think Gilbert has been somebody who's been a stabilizer. That'd be the word that I would use, is somebody who both had to represent an administration which was frequently at odds with the council and with others, and at the same time have to have conversations and make things work.
Several times that meant Montaño had to buck his fiery boss, like in 2022 when he directed Cantrell to follow city travel policy and pay back almost $30,000 in first-class airline upgrades.
All expenses incurred doing business on behalf of the city of New Orleans will not be reimbursed to the city of New Orleans. One thing is clear, I do my job.
Turns out that that is applicable to her, and in all candor, I have to fulfill my duties as the CAO and ensure that those rules and responsibilities are effectuated to everybody.
What was it like when you did that? Did you get a blowback from your boss on that?
I think out of respect for the mayor that I ultimately have, it was a very difficult time. And I'm glad that is in the past and that things have moved forward and our relationship has reconnected, and I will only say that the best things I can on her behalf. But it was a difficult, challenging time.
Montaño says his most difficult time came last September when a federal grand jury indicted building inspector Randy Farrell for allegedly bribing the mayor and Montaño to get rid of a city official who was investigating Farrell. Montaño said he wouldn't trade his integrity for the Saints and college national championship football tickets he received. And almost a year later, neither he nor Cantrell has been charged with any crime.
I don't think that there is an administrator or elected or public official that hasn't been thrown in the mud one time or another. What's important is that you keep your head straight and you persevere and you keep doing what's right, no matter what.
Montaño spent 9 years in Albuquerque, New Mexico city government before moving to New Orleans to run Cantrell's administration, and he admits he wasn't prepared for the provincialism.
The status quo was always my greatest challenge, especially coming from the outside here. What do I know about New Orleans? You've never lived here. You didn't go to high school here. You can't say Chapatulas. You know, all these different things, it kind of negates maybe some ideas that could have been very impactful and beneficial and not such a struggle.
He praises Cantrell for sticking by him.
You know, the mayor has a big heart, and at the end of the day, she and I are human beings, and we care about each other in that regard.
But only to a point.
So I think there is a professional side, and then there's a work side, but then there's also, like, that's still a human being, and we're going to treat each other with mutual respect.
So she appreciated your independence, and
I don't want to necessarily say that, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know, but I've never been threatened with termination.
So what brings you to this decision to leave before the term is over?
My loyalty to the work here has kept me here this long. It's been a long run, and we're on the 10-yard line, and I think it's important for me and my family to make the right decision and transition out, and leave it for the next person, the next generation, and the next administration to really carry out, I hope, what can be one of the greatest cities in the world.
Now, I just got back from the official announcement press conference at City Hall where Mayor Cantrell said she believes Montaño is the longest serving CAO in the city's history. We haven't had time to verify that yet. I did ask her if she ever considered firing Montaño during their public disputes. She said no and gave this explanation.
The service that we render is selfless. It is about the city of New Orleans. So even when there are perceived controversies or a different perspective that maybe hit me personally, those are those little sacrifices that we all make in serving. Meaning keeping it on the mission. And the mission has always been to serve the city of New Orleans with dignity, with respect, and at the end of the day, with real results. And we stand on all those things.
Now, Montaño said he's considering 2 job opportunities to stay in New Orleans. And meanwhile, Deputy CAO for Infrastructure Joe Threat now moves up to replace Montaño at City Hall.